Some 40,000 protesters are expected to gather outside the Democratic National Convention, DNC, in Chicago on Monday to demonstrate against the Biden administration's position on Israel, with some groups saying they will push for amendments to the party's platform. The party is on guard for disruptions to high-profile speeches at the DNC, with one pro-Palestinian group called Delegates Against Genocide, angry at U.S. support for Israel's offensive in Gaza, saying it will press for an arms embargo this week. Delegates Against Genocide said it would exercise its freedom of speech rights during main events at the four-day convention. Its organizers declined to give details, but said they would offer amendments to the party platform and use their rights as delegates to speak on the convention floor. The group wants to include language backing enforcement of laws that ban giving military aid to individuals or security forces that commit gross violations of human rights. "We're going to make our voices heard," said Liano Sharon, a business consultant and delegate who signed an alternative platform along with 34 other delegates. Freedom of expression necessarily includes the right to stand up and be heard even when the authority in the room says to shut up. They want the convention to go smoothly. They don't want to have any kind of disruption or any kind of statement or anything like that, he told Reuters at an event hosted by Chicago's large Palestinian population. "I'm sorry. A convention is a political engagement vehicle, okay? And if we're not using it for that, then it's just a beauty pageant." The Harris campaign declined to comment on the group's plans. The Uncommitted National Movement, a separate effort pushing Democrats to change policy on Israel that won more than 30 delegates in primary elections, also wants an arms embargo. But it has focused, unsuccessfully so far, on winning a mainstage speaking slot for a Palestinian American or Gaza humanitarian worker. Uncommitted has said it is not planning to disrupt the convention proceedings. Late on Saturday, convention organizers added a daytime panel discussion on Arab and Palestinian issues to Monday's agenda and one on anti-Semitism. Nadia Ahmad, a law professor at Florida's Berry University and a delegate, said there were about 60 Muslim delegates, a fraction of the 5,000 overall. But their concerns were shared by others, she said. Demonstrations are expected every day of the convention and, while their agendas vary, many activists agree an immediate ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war is the priority. The largest group, the Coalition to March on the DNC, has planned demonstrations on the first and last days of the convention. Organizers say they expect at least 20,000 activists, including students who protested the war on college campuses. "The people with power are going to be there," said Liz Rathburn, a University of Illinois Chicago student organizer. "People inside the United Center are the people who are going to be deciding our foreign policy in one way or another." The Democratic Party's draft platform released in mid-July calls for an immediate and lasting ceasefire in the war and the release of remaining hostages taken to Gaza during the October 7th attack by Islamist militant Hamas fighters, in which Israel says 1,200 people were killed. The platform does not mention the more than 40,000 people that Palestinian health authorities in Gaza say have been killed in Israel's subsequent offensive. Nor does it mention any plans to curtail U.S. arms shipments to Israel. The United States approved $20 billion in additional arms sales to Israel on Tuesday. Mediators, including the U.S., have sought to broker a truce between Israel and Hamas, which rules Gaza, based on a plan Biden put forward in May, but so far have not succeeded. Pro-Palestinian activists say Harris has been more sympathetic to people in Gaza than Biden has been. Her national security advisor said on X this month that she does not support an arms embargo on Israel. After meeting Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu last month, Harris told reporters not only that Israel had a right to defend itself, but also in reference to Gaza, "We cannot allow ourselves to become numb to the suffering, and I will not be silent." Organizers of Monday's planned protests said the numbers outside the convention could swell to over 100,000. The city has designated a park about a block from the DNC's venue, the United Center, for a speaker's stage. Those who sign up get 45 minutes. The convention will draw an estimated 50,000 people to the nation's third-largest city, including delegates, activists, and journalists. Activists say they learned lessons from last month's Republican National Convention in Milwaukee and are predicting bigger crowds and more robust demonstrations in Chicago, a city with deep social activism roots. The city says it has made necessary preparations with police and the Secret Service. Security will be tight, with street closures around the convention center.